2 hours later, the sound of a jet tore through the skies. The crowd stood frozen, unable to breathe, unable to blink. Was this a dream? A vision? The same girl they had mocked, the one Zinab treated like dirt, was returning in a private jet? The kind they'd only seen on TV screens and magazine covers. Then she appeared. Not the trembling, rag-wearing girl with calloused hands, but a queen in her own right. Her diamond-studded gown glistened brighter than the sun, each gem catching the light and dazzling every eye. Her hair flowed in soft curls, crowned with a tiara so radiant it seemed forged for royalty. Even the air seemed to bow before her. For Zinab and Amanda, it was the beginning of their deepest shame. Their knees buckled, their stomachs churned. The same girl they had mocked, tortured, and humiliated now stood before them as a bride no one in their lineage could ever dream to become. Unable to hold it in, Zinab and Amanda collapsed to their knees before Dakes. Their tears poured like broken dams, their voices trembling with desperation. Amanda crawled forward, clutching at Dakes' trousers. "Please, please, marry me," she begged, her voice cracked with regret. "I was the first person your heart chose. Don't throw me away. I'm the one you loved first." The crowd hissed at her shamelessness. Mothers pulled their children closer, whispering, "See what greed does to the heart. See what wickedness brings." But Dakes held Vera's hand firmly, his grip unshakable. He looked down at Amanda with a calm, devastating smile. "Let's move to the venue," he said, his voice rich with finality. "Today is our wedding." The Collington Event Centre shimmered like a dream. Crystal chandeliers sparkled overhead. Fresh roses lined the golden carpet, and the regal sound of trumpets filled the air. Vera, once the poor maid scorned by all, now walked hand in hand with the man she had been forced to marry. The same man they had ridiculed as a beggar was, in truth, a billionaire in disguise. And today, their union was no longer a scandal. It was a revelation. There was no shame, no laughter, no humiliation, only reverence. Dressed in a diamond-studded gown, Vera moved with the grace of royalty. The crowd erupted in cheers as she entered, her name whispered like a sacred hymn. Zinab and Amanda stood in the corner, their eyes red with envy, their hearts sinking as they watched the woman they once disgraced now rise above them in glory. They clapped with trembling hands, forcing smiles that could not mask their regret. The groom stepped forward, no longer in rags, but in a tailored tuxedo. He took Vera's hand and kissed it gently. The hall roared with admiration. Dancers swirled around them, showering petals of gold and white. The choir sang praises as the couple walked to the altar. This was no ordinary wedding. It was a victory, a lesson, a celebration of fate's mysterious grace. From the balcony, nobles and dignitaries watched in awe. The maid they had once ignored was now honored like a queen. And as the officiator declared, "What God has joined together, let no man put asunder," the crowd rose to their feet, clapping, cheering, crying. Vera had been transformed before their very eyes. Arrival at Dakes' mansion. The sleek black limousine pulled up to the gates of Dakes' mansion. Vera stepped out, her breath catching at the sight before her. The driveway alone was larger than the street she once lived on. White doves soared overhead as the golden gates opened wide. A red carpet stretched to the entrance, flanked by guards and maids who bowed deeply at her arrival. Vera rose. Her hands trembled. She remembered the days she scrubbed floors until her fingers bled, ran errands barefoot, endured insults that cut deeper than any wound. Yet here she was, walking on a carpet fit for royalty. Dakes appeared beside her, slipping his hand into hers. His gaze never left her face. "Welcome home, Vera," he whispered. "From today you will never cry in secret again." The staff clapped softly, admiration glowing in their eyes. One elderly maid whispered through tears, "She has such a pure soul. No one deserves this more." Vera's eyes brimmed with tears. "All my life, I thought I was born only to serve. I never dreamed of being loved or celebrated." Dakes cupped her face, his voice steady. "You are not a maid anymore, Vera. You are my queen. This mansion, this kingdom, this life, it belongs to you." With trembling steps, Vera entered the grand hallway. Her reflection shimmered on the marble floors. Crystal chandeliers rained golden light from above. Paintings of kings and queens lined the walls, as if welcoming her into her rightful place. It wasn't the wealth that overwhelmed her. It was the love, the respect, the way every servant looked at her, not as a burden, not as a maid, but as someone worthy of honor. And in that moment, Vera knew. The humiliated orphan was gone. She had risen. She had been crowned. She was home. Afternoon living room across town. Two broken souls trembled with envy. Amanda's phone screen glowed as she and Zinab watched Vera's grand arrival at Dake's mansion. The camera panned across the golden gates, the bowing servants, the red carpet unfurling like royalty's welcome, and the chandeliers that sparkled like stars. Then came Dakes, elegant, proud, holding Vera's hand as if she were the rarest jewel he'd ever known. Amanda's hands shook violently. She couldn't bear another second. She sprang to her feet, pacing like a lioness trapped in a cage. Tears of rage scorched her cheeks. "Mama!" she wailed, clutching her chest. "He proposed to me first! Me! I pushed away a billionaire while humiliating him! That low-life maid, my maid, is now living the life meant for me!" Her mother sat frozen, lips parted in shock. Zinab slammed her hand against the table, her own tears flowing. "Amanda, I swear, I've never been humiliated like this. That wretched maid stands like a queen while we sit like beggars. They've touched the wrong family." Amanda turned, eyes blazing. "Zinab, what do we do? Sit here and watch her take everything? Watch her wear the crown that should have been mine?" Zinab's lips curled into a bitter smile. She leaned in, voice venomous. "No, Amanda, we will not watch. We will strike. She thinks she's won, but her story has just begun. And I promise you, we will rewrite up with her tears." Amanda collapsed onto the sofa, sobbing, but beneath the grief, something darker stirred. Envy sharp enough to slice steel, a hunger for revenge hotter than fire. As Vera's image replayed on the screen, Zinab's jaw clenched. "They've forgotten who I am," she muttered, "and they will regret it." 2 weeks later, Amanda sat in her room with Zinab. Her eyes were swollen, not from sorrow, but from bitterness. She paced like a caged lioness, while Zinab sharpened her words like daggers. Amanda grabbed her phone and dialed Vera. Her voice trembled with the fakest sob imaginable. "Vera," she choked out, "since you left us, I and my mom have regretted everything. Please, my sister, have mercy on us. We are your only family. Don't abandon us." Vera sat on the balcony of Dakes' mansion, overlooking gardens lit with golden lamps. Her hand trembled as tears streamed down her face. She remembered the bruises, the hunger, the humiliation. Yet Amanda, her only blood, was pleading. "I forgive you," Vera whispered. "I missed you and Mum so much." Amanda's voice turned sharp with excitement. "Oh, thank you, my sister." Then, like a serpent, she lowered her tone. "Vera, can I visit you? Just once? I want to show you how sorry I am." Vera smiled through tears, her soft heart blind to Amanda's cruelty. "Yes, please come. Let me spoil you, sister. You deserve love too." The moment the call ended, Amanda burst into wicked laughter. Zinab leaned forward, eyes gleaming. "You did it?" Amanda smirked. "She fell for it. That stupid girl thinks I'm sorry. But mark my words, I'll step into that mansion not as a guest, but as a storm." Zinab hissed, her tears mixing with fury. "That mansion should have been ours. That ring should have been yours. They dared humiliate us. Now we'll humiliate them tenfold." Their laughter was cruel, sharp and venomous. That evening, Vera sat in the golden lounge of Dakes' mansion, her heart pounding. She had just ended the call with Amanda, and the echo of fake sobs still haunted her. Dakes, fresh from a business meeting, sipped wine calmly, but his sharp eyes scanned her face, sensing the storm within. "Darling," Vera began, voice trembling. "Amanda called me today." Dakes froze, glass midair. His brow arched. "Amanda? The same Amanda who tossed you like a rag? Who called you unworthy? Who humiliated me?" Vera's lips quivered. She cried, said she regrets everything. She begged for forgiveness. Dakes placed the glass down slowly. "And you, soft-hearted Queen Vera, want to open the gates of this mansion to wolves who once starved you in the cold? Forgiveness is noble. Foolishness is deadly." Vera clutched his hand. "I know they were cruel, but she said I'm her only family. I can't erase blood from my heart. Maybe they've changed." Dakes chuckled bitterly. "Changed? Snakes don't grow feathers. They shed skin and come back shinier." His sarcasm cut deep, but his eyes softened. "I built you this world so you'd never bow again. And now you want to bring your former masters into it?" Vera rested her head on his chest. "I don't want them to rule me. I want to show them love is stronger than cruelty." Dake sighed, brushing her hair gently. "For you, I'll move mountains. But if they dare hurt you again, I'll bury their names so deep history will forget them." Vera smiled weakly. "Thank you, my love." Dakes tilted her chin. "This kindness of yours, it's why I adore you, and why I fear for you. Wolves feast on lambs who forgive too easily." He kissed her forehead. "You are my queen. I'll give you this risk, but know this, I am watching, and if they cross the line, I will make them wish they never stepped into your light." The room fell silent. The day Amanda arrived at the mansion, Vera could hardly contain herself. She dashed out of the grand hallway the moment she heard footsteps echoing at the entrance. "Amanda!" she cried, her voice bursting with childlike joy. Without hesitation, she threw herself into her sister's arms. Tears streamed down her cheeks, not from pain, but from the overwhelming joy of reunion. Amanda embraced her, her eyes glistening with emotion. But beneath the surface, her smile carried a shadow. "My sister, I've missed you so much," she whispered, her voice trembling just enough to sound sincere. Vera pulled her inside, her excitement spilling over. "Come, Amanda, I want you to see everything. This is not just my home, it's yours too." She led Amanda through the palatial estate, pointing out each marvel with pride. This is the grand hall, where Dakes receives guests. Here's the dining room. It seats 30. And this... She paused dramatically, pushing open a golden door. Is the private lounge, yours to use whenever you want. Amanda gasped at the glittering chandeliers, velvet sofas, and polished marble floors. Vera mistook her widened eyes for awe. Laughing, Vera tugged her sister's hand like the barefoot girl she once was. Wait till you see your room, Amanda. It's right next to mine. I want you close to me. Always. She flung open the door to reveal a king-sized bed dressed in silk, a private balcony overlooking the gardens, and servants waiting with bowed heads. Amanda covered her mouth dramatically. Oh, Vera. This is too much. I don't deserve this. Vera shook her head, pulling her into a hug. No, you're my sister. You deserve the world. I'll make sure you lack nothing. From that day forward, Vera treated Amanda like royalty. Designer gowns, sparkling jewelry, spa treatments, and gourmet meals, everything was hers. But something strange began to unfold. Each morning before dawn, Amanda was already awake. While Vera lingered in bed, Amanda would slip into her room, sitting at her side like a guardian angel. Do you need anything, Vera? Tea? Breakfast in bed? A massage? You must relax. You're my queen, she cooed, stroking Vera's hair with exaggerated tenderness. Vera smiled at her devotion, her heart swelling. You've changed so much, Amanda, she said one morning, wiping away a tear. It feels like I finally have the sister I always dreamed of. Amanda kissed her cheek softly, her eyes glinting. And I promise you, Vera, I'll never leave your side again. But, deep within her heart, Amanda whispered a darker truth only she could hear. Yes, sister, I will never leave your side. Not until everything you now have becomes mine. The night was meant to be ordinary, but fate had other plans. Vera clutched her stomach, a sharp pin slicing through her like a blade. Her cry rang through the mansion like a siren. Dakes, she gasped, her hands trembling. Dakes didn't hesitate. He bolted from his study, scooped her into his arms as if she were made of glass. Don't worry, my love. I've got you. Nothing will happen to you. Her voice cracked as he rushed her down the marble steps. Amanda's scream followed, her face painted with fear, but her eyes glimmered with something darker. The drive to the hospital blurred into chaos. Dix carried Vera in like a wounded child, refusing to let go until the doctor sternly ordered him back. His shirt was soaked with her tears, his hands trembling. In the waiting room, time became torture. Dix paced like a soldier on burning coals, his breath shallow, his palms restless. Amanda sat beside him, her hand grazing his arm in false comfort. Calm down, Dix, she whispered. Vera is strong. She'll be fine. Her voice broke just enough to sound sincere, but her eyes flickered with envy. Then the door opened. The doctor stepped out slowly, his expression heavy, his eyes avoiding theirs. Dix's knees buckled. Doctor, he rasped, how is my wife? Please tell me she's fine. The doctor sighed. She lost the pregnancy. She was 2 months along. Her womb was severely affected, but narrowly escaped permanent damage. She'll need time, her body, and her heart. The words hit Dix like a thunder. His mouth opened, but no sound came. His strong frame felt suddenly fragile. He turned to Amanda, searching her face for comfort, but found only shadows. Amanda gasped, pressing her hand to her chest. "Oh no, God, no!" she cried, tears streaming down her cheeks. Moments later, Vera was wheeled out. Her face was pale, her eyes hollow. She didn't speak, didn't glance at anyone. She was lost in a world where dreams had been torn apart. Diggs knelt beside her bed, taking her cold hand. "My love, I'm here. I'll always be here. Please don't leave me behind in your silence." His voice quivered, tears soaking her hand, but Vera didn't respond. Her lips trembled. Her eyes stared blankly at the ceiling. She was shattered, lost to herself, lost to joy, lost to the woman she once was. Amanda stood in the corner, biting her lips until they bled. She wailed louder than Vera, rushing to hold her sister's shoulders. "Vera, oh my God, why? Why would God allow this?" she sobbed, pressing her face into Vera's arm. But in her heart, she whispered, "This is just the beginning." The days that followed were drenched in silence. Vera refused food, refused comfort, refused even Dacre's touch. At night, she lay motionless, her eyes fixed on the wall, silent tears tracing paths down her cheeks. Dakes was unraveling too, steadfast, shielding her from the world, whispering love into the silence, even when she gave no reply. His heart bled, but his devotion never wavered. Amanda was always present. She cried with Vera, held her when Dakes wasn't there, whispered soft promises of sisterhood, her voice tender, her touch gentle. But behind every tear, behind every hug, behind every word was something else. A hunger, a plan, a storm waiting to rise. A few days later, the mansion's dining hall glowed with warmth. Golden light bathed the velvet curtains, and the air carried the rich aroma of Amanda's pepper soup, a dish she had lovingly prepared, as she had done every evening since Vera's loss. Vera, slowly rediscovering her laughter, leaned back in her chair, a faint smile on her lips as Amanda placed the steaming bowl before her. But before she could lift her spoon, Dacre's voice sliced through the gentle clinking of cutlery. "Amanda," he said, his tone sharp and unwavering, "tonight you'll eat the soup you prepared, and my wife will take the one the chef made especially for her." The words dropped like a hammer. Amanda froze. Her hands trembled. Vera turned to her husband, her brow furrowed in confusion. "Oh, my love," she whispered, her voice soft but protective. "Why are you saying that?" "Amanda knows how to prepare it better. I've always enjoyed her soup. It comforts me." But Dacre's jaw clenched. "Vera, this isn't about taste. It's about trust. Amanda will eat what she cooked." Vera's heart skipped. She saw the storm in his eyes, something rare, something dangerous. She reached for his hand, pleading, "Please, don't disrespect my sister. She's been nothing but kind. She stayed with me when I cried. She's shown me love." Amanda didn't speak. Her eyes dropped to the table. Her breath grew shallow. Her body trembled. It's not meant for me," she stammered. "It's meant for Vera." The room turned cold. Maids at the edge of the hall exchanged glances, but dared not speak. Vera's lips parted in disbelief. She turned slowly to Amanda. "Then why can't you eat it?" she asked softly. "If you made it for me, why not share it with me?" Amanda clasped her fingers, shaking her head. "No, Vera, it's not for me. I can't eat it." The grandfather clock ticked louder. The air thickened. Dacre slammed his palm against the table. His voice thundered. "If you don't eat that soup right now, Amanda, I swear I'll involve the police." Silence fell like a curtain. Vera flinched. Amanda's face drained of colour. Her lips quivered as if struck by lightning. Tears welled in Vera's eyes. Her voice cracked. "Amanda, please, don't make me believe. Don't make me doubt the bond we've built. If there's nothing wrong, just eat it with me." Amanda pulled back, shaking violently. Her silence screamed louder than any denial. Dacre's eyes darkened. His suspicion had evolved into something deeper, crueler, more dangerous. "You wanted her to eat this," he muttered, voice low and sharp. "But you won't touch it yourself. Why, Amanda? Why?" Vera clutched her chest. Her breathing grew heavy. The cruel possibility began to take shape. The woman she had defended with her heart, the sister she had welcomed into her world, might not be innocent. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "No, Amanda, tell me it isn't true." But Amanda sat frozen, and her silence was louder than any confession.
Oh, beloved viewers, the curtain is about to rise on the last saga. Everything you thought you knew, prepare to watch it unravel. Betrayal will stare truth in the eye. Tears will stand trial before judgment, and love will detest it to its breaking point. Stay with me, hold your breath. Because the end will not just surprise you, it will shake you. Bye for now.